Hey everyone, this is your self-awareness reading for the weekend, self-truth, soul truth. I feel like possibly one or more of these cards we have had already. Just keep in mind when there are repeat cards like that, whether it's in these readings or in personal readings, that Spirit is repeating that message for a reason. That means that many of you, or at least some of you, are still struggling with this issue. Well, if it's from this deck, it would be something like that. If it was from an oracle deck, like, it could be a positive card, so it could be reassurance. But from this deck, some of you may still be struggling with different things, and Spirit is continuing to send that message to help get through to whoever needs to hear it. Okay? So, starting off, from whom can I release my judgment right now? Judgment closes our heart to truth and separates us from love. It binds us to our fear and holds us in shame. On whom are you placing judgment right now? Is it someone in your life? Is it yourself? Release the shackles, drop the expectations, and be grateful for what is. Look at the person you are judging as if you are looking at a small child. See them learning and growing, falling down and making mistakes. See their desire to be loved and accepted. Add even more grace to open your heart to this truth. When I lift the judgment from myself and others, I uncover my own truth. I am loved, I am whole, I am limitless, and so are they. Am I in my head or in my heart? What is the quality of your self-talk? Our brain is like a muscle. If we condition it daily, the fears and limitations will take over. Mastering our thoughts is about being the creator of our own life. Where your head meets your heart is where miracles happen. Today, master your mind. Watch an inspiring video, do some tapping, read an empowering book, or write out all the reasons why you believe in yourself and your dreams. How can I surrender even more in this moment? It is essential to have clear, strong intentions of what we desire, but it's equally important for us to detach from the outcome. It's time to surrender. Let the universe have some breathing room to work. Let go of the wheel and trust so deeply that your trust turns into gratitude for what you cannot see yet, but you know is coming. Know this so deeply that your soul vibrates. You are not alone. Your life has purpose, and the more you surrender, the more God can produce miracles in your life. Today's mantra: I surrender, I accept all that I cannot change, I release the outcome, and I joyfully trust the process. You know, that mantra reminded me of the 12 steps prayer, I think it's called. Maybe it's the serenity prayer. I'm not in AA, so I don't know it like by heart, or I don't know exactly what it's called, but I have heard it enough times to know that it is actually a really good prayer for anyone to tell themselves at any time, because it's something about releasing control of what you can't control. So you should refresh your memory on that. I have a friend who is in AA, and he actually showed me two different versions, and there was a longer version, and they were really spot on. I felt like applicable to anyone and anything, not just for that reason. So I recommend that. And while I was reading those cards, I felt a pull, I guess you could say, felt guided to also pull cards from my Angel Therapy deck. So maybe Spirit wants to add a little bit more right now. I'm shuffling. I'm going to pull cards in just a second. Oops. Of course, there were also jumpers. So it's going to be a little longer. Huh. Okay then. Okay, these are our jumpers. These messages are definitely going to be for specific people, honestly. But you have to listen to them and determine if you feel like it's for you. I'm going to grab the book to help explain these better. And the book has action steps as well. I'll read the action steps. I won't read the entire messages from the book. But I will also put it in my blog the instructions, the action steps in my block. Now, it's not a coincidence that Indigo and You Are Profoundly Clairvoyant came out together, because they pretty much go hand in hand. So Indigo, I mean, hopefully you've heard of Indigo children. So basically they are, Indigo children and Indigo people are highly sensitive, honestly, like star seeds, light workers that have spiritual gifts, are here and meant to do a purpose. That's why they're natural born leaders, like it says. Maybe I will read the whole book. It's important for you to understand the nature of indigos in regard to your to understand the nature of indigos in regard to your question. Well, you didn't necessarily have a question, so we'll ignore that part. Perhaps you or someone else involved in this situation is an indigo or a parent of one. An indigo is a strong-willed and spirited individual who has strong personal beliefs about changing and improving the world. Indigos may have tempers which fuel them to move forward with their activist campaigns. You may have received this card because you're divinely called to help the indigos keep their spiritual gifts and missions alive. Many indigos are misunderstood or misdiagnosed with labels such as ADHD because of their lightning-fast thinking style and intuitive sensitivities. You can help indigos maintain high self-esteem and a sense of purposeful direction so that they can use their natural talents to help us all. I feel like that's even applicable to everything going on in the world right now, to be honest. Action steps. Archangel Metatron oversees the indigo generation, so he's the best angel to call upon for help with issues related to indigo children and adults. Take a few moments to quiet your body and mind, perhaps by closing your eyes and taking some deep breaths. Then silently ask Archangel Metatron any questions you have related to children in general, a specific child, or a person who exhibits indigo qualities such as sensitivity, strong will, and concern for the earth. I feel like this is applicable to like many of you who are watching this, not even necessarily your kids. Ask Archangel Metatron for guidance with this issue and also for a divine assignment in which you can help the indigo generation. Okay. You are profoundly clairvoyant. Trust what you see in your mind's eye as well as with your physical sight, for your spiritual vision helps you with healing, teaching, and guidance. Listen, let's talk about how spiritual gifts work for a second, real quick. Excuse me. People don't realize that our imagination is connecting to our spiritual center. I mean, obviously, yes, sometimes your imagination is just your imagination. But sometimes you might have visions or similar type of things. And honestly, I guess you could say it could be good or bad visions. And many times that's your clairvoyance, and it's not your imagination. It's spirit showing you things. That's why it says here, trust what you see in your mind's eye, not just your physical sight, because that is your spiritual vision. That imagination and things that you see is your spiritual vision, is your clairvoyance. And the state of sleep that you're in between completely asleep and completely awake, that you go into that state as you're going to sleep, and then you go through that state as you're waking up, and a lot of times you have very vivid dreams during that state. That is, honestly, it's a lot like a meditative state, even though you're only somewhat conscious. And that is one of the prime times when you can have this spiritual vision, because it is like a meditative state, and that's when when spirit is speaking to you through your imagination. So those dreams can mean something, because they can be visions. Now, they don't have to. Sometimes dreams are just dreams. Sometimes it is possible. That's considered 4D, and within 4D, negative spirits can attack. So it is possible to have fear-based visions that are caused by negative energy or negative spirits. So if you wake up and you feel in fear, that's not something that's coming from your angels, okay? And your best to just ignore it. And they will try to trick you, okay? I've had dreams of dark spirits trying to trick me, pretending to be angels or something. and giving me messages like that I have to, honestly, it was giving me messages that I have to give up my twin flame, that I have to sacrifice. And I was like, no. And I actually found out recently that someone in my twin's family had a dream that was, like, they don't know this. I found this out. I figured it out. But the dream was a dark spirit trying to trick them concerning my twin in order to get to his energy. So these things can happen. So you do have to be careful. And the more gifted you are, you should always be saying prayers before you go to sleep. Honestly, I need to work on doing that myself. Like, I forget. You should say the Our Father. So something that I have learned from one of my mentors who is very gifted and not religious, but she said that the Our Father carries a tremendous amount of power because of how significant it is in the world and how many people invoke it. So it doesn't even matter if you're religious or not. Just saying the Our Father or the Apostles' Creed can call in your spiritual team and protect you. And the more gifted you are, the more you need that when you're sleeping, because entities can attack you while you're sleeping and try to affect you in your etheric spiritual field as well as your physical body, the more gifted you are. So keep that in mind. So if you have dreams/visions during that waking up state that make you feel good, or even seem like premonitions or messages, then they probably are messages and guidance from your spiritual team, from your angels, from your ascended masters that are working with you, whoever, from your loved ones. So you can trust that because it is truly spiritual vision and clairvoyance. You can get, like, when you're awake or when you're meditating, it can be very hard to differentiate between imagination and vision. You have to get used to recognizing where the origination of the thoughts come from. Is it something that you created, or is it something that just appeared? Okay? If it just... hold on a second. Oh my God! I think that there's a cat outside trying to attack my cat. Hold on. Hold that thought. Sorry guys, I have a patio, there's a screen, so they couldn't attack my cat, but it's happened before that another cat that roams the neighborhood comes up to the screen and they start, like, trying to get at each other. That's what I heard, but he was gone when I got out there, probably because of my dog barking. Okay, sorry. What was I saying? You have to pay attention to where the thoughts are originating from. Do they just come to you, or do they, or did you create them? By the way, I'm not editing that out because I don't know how to edit it out. So if anybody wants to show me how, let me know. But I don't think it's that big of a deal. I just think of it as authentic and real. So yeah, that's how you can tell the difference between if spirit is giving you visions or if you're using your imagination. Determine if you are creating the thought or if it's just coming to you randomly. And when you are very well connected with your DM or with your twin, you can, it doesn't even necessarily have to be meditating. You can just be daydreaming and you can connect with them in the 5D. You won't even realize that's what's happening, honestly. It's that daydreaming and imagining. Oh my gosh, excuse me. It's that daydreaming and imagining, and your 5D selves can interact. And I discovered how significant this can be by accident because I was waking up one day and I started thinking about him, as is usual, because He's usually the first thought on my mind in the morning and the last thought at night, and many thoughts in between. And actually in the mornings when I wake up, one of the first things I do is usually tap into his emotions to see how he's feeling for the day. But I was waking up, I started thinking about him, and while I was thinking about him, I was daydreaming, and all of a sudden, the scenario in my daydream changed in a way that I didn't initiate. And I was like, whoa, how did that just happen? And I realized that he must have been thinking about me and daydreaming at the exact same time, and he initiated that change. And I was so blown away. I actually consulted with my spiritual advisor team about that. I was like, did this really happen? And they're like, yes it did. So there's a lot more possible than what people realize. People struggle to believe because it's not tangible and you can't explain it. It's not scientific, but it's real. Okay, so like it says there, trust your spiritual vision. And the book says, the angels send you this card to help you trust the visions you receive in your mind's eye during dream time, as well as the signs that you physically see, such as recurring numbers, feathers, coins, flashes of light, and so forth. Since the Creator is all-seeing, it stands to reason that you and everyone else would inherit the gift of spiritual sight. Before I forget, I wanted to add, it is possible to see things with your physical sight as well. You probably need to be more in tune with your gifts, I'm guessing, but it is possible. You don't need to disregard things. If you notice things that seem odd to you, like that flashes of light that it referred to, it is very likely. I mean, I am able to meditate with my eyes open sometimes. It's hard, but I can, and I'm able to see the spiritual realm. Not like super clearly, it's transparent and it kind of looks like a vortex of just like energy swirling, and I have not seen spirits that way. I just see the energy swirling. But I recognize what it is, and there's been other times that I've seen random weird things. I used to work at Stoneman Douglas with the color guard, and one of the times that I was there, I looked up and I just saw like all of these like lines of light like crossing in front of my eyes. It's really hard to describe, but I'm 100% sure that I really saw it. And it lasted for like 30 seconds, and I just stood there like watching it for those 30 seconds and was just blown away. And my daughter is a medium, and she actually sees spirits with her eyes. So yes, it is possible to physically see stuff also. Most people will see stuff in their mind's eye, but it is possible to physically see as well. If your gift seems blocked, the cause may be a painful past experience that the angels can help you heal and release. Know that it's right for you to see clairvoyantly, as this blessing can be used to assist you with your healing and teaching work. Your clairvoyance also gives you continuous and accurate guidance, much like a GPS electronic map in a car that guides you to the right destination. Trust what you see. Action steps. You'll want to conduct this session in a private and quiet location and have a pen and paper handy, as the process may trigger some vivid past life memories. Sit or lie down and center yourself with steady and deep breaths. When you're ready, say, Archangel Raziel, I call upon you now. Please surround me with the highest and purest vibrations of divine love to heal and release any old fears connected to my spiritual sight. Then breathe and relax, as your body may tingle or shudder while it releases old toxins. Stay with this process until your body feels completely at ease. Know that you can control your clairvoyance by asking the angels for help. Okay, so I hope that helps a lot of you. I really feel like Spirit is trying to open up some of you with your gifts. And you know, the world is going through the ascension process right now, and the new earth is being birthed. I'm not really going to talk a lot about that right now because I know that it's a difficult concept for many people, and many people don't even realize that that's happening. But this is a process that started at the very least in 2020 and is going to continue this year and next year and beyond, but the painful awakenings and shifts and transitions have already started and will continue. And I feel like because light workers and star seeds are the anchor for this process, that could be why Spirit is really calling upon a lot of you to open up to your gifts. Okay, books. Your life purpose involves writing, reading, editing, or selling spiritually based books. Obviously, this is pretty specific. I mean, it could be a recommendation to those of you who have been thinking about it already to purchase some spiritually based books and read and start educating yourself about these things. Start teaching yourself how to use your intuition and your spiritual gifts. There's all sorts of books and courses and programs working with mentors that you can do in order to help that process along. And maybe some of you who are more advanced are feeling the call to write books and to teach and all of those things. So that could also be what it entails. I'm going to read the action steps on this one. Archangel Gabriel is the messenger angel who helps writers, teachers, and others involved with delivering spiritual messages. Either silently or aloud, say, Archangel Gabriel, I call upon you now. Please help increase my courage and confidence to move forward with my book-related desires. And then tell Gabriel about your dreams related to books. Thank you for motivating and organizing me so that I spend time every day devoted to my heart's true desire, allowing my dreams to be manifested in divinely perfect ways without delay. Okay. Solar plexus chakra. To me, I feel like a lot of you are needing to work on your solar plexus chakra, do some healing work for it. This could also be to help your divine masculines, especially divine masculines who are in karmic relationships, that they really, in order to get out of those karmic relationships, they need to have very strong solar plexus chakra energy, because that is their personal power center. That's their ability to feel in control of their lives and take back control of their lives. And many of these toxic karmic situations are partners who are using manipulative ways or even black magic to control our twins and to keep them from being able to take back their lives. So working on the solar plexus chakra could be significant for that reason too. That could be why Spirit is bringing it up. This card comes to you because the angels wish to help you with issues concerning power and control. They first want to reassure you that you are powerful. You, who were made in the image and likeness of your Creator, hold those same qualities, including power. It doesn't matter if you feel it or if you're afraid of your inner might. The fact is, you are powerful. Second, it's safe for you to use your power in loving ways. The angels won't allow you to abuse it, and the people who truly love you will respect and applaud your spirited words and actions. Remember that power doesn't equate to aggression. It simply means being completely authentic with yourself and others. I also felt there that this can also be for those of you who Spirit is guiding to work in spiritually based professions or writing books or anything like that, to help give you the confidence and power to be able to do that. The angels also want to remind you that I think they left out a word here, that no one else is controlling you or can control you without your permission. And now understand that you don't have to give conscious permission. People like our twins can give permission for others to control them simply by being present and not, leaving the situation, or by if they have wounds that make them, I don't want to say weak, but that provide a vulnerable spot. That can be how those controls, like through black magic, can attach. They're not giving permission, but they have a vulnerable spot where that negative energy can attach itself and cause problems. And that's kind of how it works, because my DM even said, I don't believe that that's possible, that someone can take away your free will like that. And yeah, like nobody is consciously giving permission or giving away their control, but it comes from these weaknesses and vulnerabilities from wounds, and that is how entities attach. That's how black magic can creep in and affect you. And especially men, like they don't realize those things because they're taught not to put a lot of emphasis on emotions and those vulnerable parts. So they oftentimes don't even want to see their wounding. That's why the twin flame journey is so hard on masculines, because that it's not a process that they would choose to do. Spirit has to force them through it. And that's why they fight it so much, and that's why they run, because it's a painful process that Spirit forces them through. They don't realize that they have those vulnerabilities that open them up to these methods of control. You always have options and choices, and the angels can help you make those decisions if you ask. Yeah, but the key there is that you have to be aware of it and you have to ask. And that's where the DMs don't have, many times don't have that. They will also assist you in feeling more in control of your life and your spiritual gifts. Action steps: recline on your back in a quiet okay, before I read this, actually, if you feel that this applies for your DM or your twin, you can do this for them. Like, you are connected energetically, and any healing work that you do helps them as well. And it's okay to do. I know that there's a lot of people who say you have to ask permission, but they don't have to give a conscious permission. They can give a spiritual permission. So etherically, when you send the healing, the other person can spiritually, unconsciously, their soul can choose to accept it or not. And with your twins, your twin is half of you, and you're so strongly connected that, like, it just happens. I mean, and if you are getting regular healing work, like if you're going to get Reiki or IET or other types of in-person healing, or like there's a lot of advisors who have chakra cleansing bowls that they will use to do sound healing for your chakras. A lot of times when you get that live, you can even feel your twin spirit with you. I even have a friend who just told me about her session with her healer the other day, and her healer told her that she felt her twin laying with her. And when I used to get regular in-person treatment, this was years ago when I was still struggling, I felt my DM spirit, like I felt him join me. I felt him lay next to me. Sometimes I even felt like in that, like I was explaining earlier, in that spiritual vision center, I actually like saw and felt him like hold my hand or kiss me on the forehead, things like that. So you can actually feel and connect a lot more than you realize. Even though I think that when you do like listening to videos on YouTube and stuff like that, that still works to give healing to both of you. I don't think that you feel it as strongly. So like you might not necessarily feel your twin with you next to you, but it still helps for the healing. And this action step that I'm going to give you now, that will still help your twin also. Recline on your back in a quiet location and focus on your solar plexus, which is the energy center behind your belly button. Say either silently or aloud, Archangel Michael, I call upon you now. Please cut any cords of fear from my solar plexus to anyone whom I've given my power away to. Then inhale and exhale deeply as Michael disentangles you from those whom you feared were controlling you. Then say, Archangel Michael, please give me the courage to take complete responsibility for every aspect of my life. Now, reading that, I didn't even realize it was going to be a cutting cords thing, because there's a separate card for cutting cords. But I can tell you that Steve Nobel on YouTube recently released a meditation, a guided meditation that's about 20 minutes long, I want to say. And it's for cutting cords, and it's excellent. Like, I've been using it to help my DM break free from his karmic. Because the thing is, when they're in that relationship or connection, you can cut cords and they can come back. Both the negative energy from that person's toxic influence as well as entities can continue to reattach negative cords. So it's important to continually keep cutting them. Okay, so if your twin is in that type of situation, I recommend doing a cord cutting regularly, like at least every week. You would have to judge if you feel like you need it more often than that. Lastly, if you get nervous, focus on service. Put your entire intention on answering the question, how can I make the world a better place? And the law of attraction will automatically take care of your needs. You drew this card because you've been called into spiritual service, either as a healer or a teacher. The thought of conducting public spiritual work may trigger nervousness. Don't worry though, this anxiety has no bearing on your readiness for service. Okay, I really feel even more so that all of these cards is Spirit calling on some of you to start doing your spiritual work. I know I talked a lot with the solar plexus chakra about your twin, but I did say it can also be anyone who is being called to do service, to do spiritual work, I should say, so that you feel confident in doing so. Now this just rounds it all out. So I really feel like Spirit is calling on some of you to do spiritual work. It's simply the ego wrestling to gain control through fear. The antidote is to focus on your higher self's mission, which is loving service to the divine. Each client or audience member is one with you and the Creator. You share one love and one spirit. Your spiritual work is about connecting to that one great force in the universe. So while the ego wants to concentrate on I worries, such as what if I can't do this or what if they don't like me, the higher self is completely focused on lovingly giving service. Your higher self is 100% psychic and is tapped into the divine healing energy. To operate out of your higher self, focus on blessing instead of impressing others. Begin each session or seminar by opening your heart to loving everyone involved. And ask the question, how may I serve? To put your higher self in charge. I have to tell you, this resonates with me because there was a point in time where I was like, I'm never going to be doing YouTube videos or video readings, and now I'm so completely comfortable doing it. And I will also say that I have taught myself over the years now how to function on a regular daily basis from my intuitive center instead of from my brain or instead of from my heart. And that's like what it says here about tapping into your higher self. So that's what you have to do. You have to train yourself to function from your intuition, to connect with your higher self regularly, and the confidence will come. And it will come with practice also. Action steps. Sitting quietly, visualize yourself conducting a healing session, giving a psychic reading or seminar, writing a book, or doing some other spiritually based intention. Imagine the people involved, such as your clients or audience members, smiling receptively at the service you're providing. Feel your heart opening to these people who are brimming with gratitude that you're giving so joyously. See all your material needs easily provided for, knowing that as you focus on giving, the universe automatically gives back to you. And that is true. And Spirit will help you with finances as well if you ask for help. Okay, well, Spirit had more answers for us today, and more guidance for you. I hope that those of you who needed to hear it, appreciate it, and let me know if you have any questions.